Hi again, and thank you for letting me share about my New York City adventures. I grew up here, but I have been exploring the city more and more. I grew up in Queens, and we went straight to Manhattan. There's always like shelling out of money. There's the train has fees, the pizza, the brunch as we get older. I'm exploring New York, trying to find the free, uh, mostly free, and some maybe low cost things. So this experiment has been going on for a few weeks now, and it's so good because it gets me out of the house, gets me and Xerxes out of the house. My my ideal situation is that I see sunlight or at least outdoors, even if it's nighttime, every single day. We do some kind of exercise. It's mostly biking, but every single day. And this helps us with like, okay, where are we going today? What are we doing today? What borough should we go to? What street should we go to? You end up going to like the same places as a New Yorker also. Like you'll hear New Yorkers pretty much have their couple of neighborhoods that they go to on the weekend and at night. And when they explore outside of that, like something pretty big has to happen. Like, I don't know, their friend invites them to their 30th birthday, 50th birthday, and that's like sort of mandatory. And then you might go outside of your comfort zone into most likely somebody else's comfort zone. I think that happens throughout the whole US. I think that happens everywhere. You kind of like find your places. This gets me out of that. So those are always going to kind of work out, except when we got, the flat a few days ago, or we get rained out. So that is a few of those things happened in the last week, and it was like back to back. And I don't remember, one of these days we also had a flat, and then you got to walk, a mile or two to the nearest place. Good thing we're not in Philly anymore because bike places are open a little more often here in New York and later, more days and later. But there were other failures, and I knew that this would happen. It's one of the reasons that I never really responded to those PR, like, we'll give you a free this thing, you get a tote bag. I've had enough of the tote bag. They never give you like the good ones that you want. There's an ideal tote bag out there for me, and I will find it, but it hasn't been in the freebies yet. Anyway, the reason why I don't go to these things is a lot of times they're sold out. They have long lines. They're not worth the wait. It's like you wait all this time, you get a crumb, or at least that was my fear. So far it's been working out great. Like full lunches, experiences. There was a museum. There's the streets are closed off for bikes. It doesn't always have to be like, here's a new version of Oreo or any kind of snack thing. A lot of times it is experiences, and New York has so many of them. We've even like gone to like, let's read together in public, just fun things where, maybe I wouldn't have gone to Lincoln Center before I potentially leave New York. I'm doing this experiment, and it's getting me to these locations. So here's some of the failures that have happened. And like I said, they were back to back. It wasn't sprinkled in between all these other stories that I'm telling you about. It was pretty much day after day. First day, there was a thing called musical chairs, and it's in Bryant Park. No, it's not like different than musical chairs. It's musical chairs, but for adults. You have to be 18 and over in Bryant Park, which granted is not Central Park. It's one of the smaller parks. But for musical chairs, this is giant. Just to give you an idea, on their promo, it says the bonus is the first 450, the first 400. So they're anticipating at least 450. They're anticipating running out of 450 t-shirts, which means this event is giant. So it's a bunch of circles of musical chairs. And then once you're out, just like regular musical chairs, but with hundreds and hundreds of New Yorkers. Now, I've stayed away from this. I think I've seen it before, but didn't attend. But that's because for the last few years, I've been working with a bum knee. That's another story, but I'm not allowed to run. So, but this year I thought, I'm not really running for musical chairs. If they tell me to hop, which I guess they do, they tell you to like hop or walk back to it, whatever. They start getting cute because I don't know, because that's what we do. That's what we do for kids also when we play. So I thought if they make me hop, I'll hop on my right knee, the good knee. If I have to run, I'm out. Maybe I'm out on the first round, but I wanted to be in that energy, in that ridiculous, ridiculous energy. Now, here's where I am proud of myself. I have been checking the weather for the most part before we leave, and there was not just a storm coming, there was warnings of flooding. So I thought, well, I shouldn't go. Come to find out, it actually was canceled. Duh. But I knew the host. I also was excited to go to Musical Chairs because it was hosted by Ophira Eisenberg. So I reached out to her, and at first I was like, "Hey, how did it go at Musical Chairs?" Because I figure I was just, kind of being a pussy. Kind of got. I gotta stop saying I was being a pussy. First of all, I don't even like that word. How do you say? What's a different word for that? What's like being a wuss? Like I don't. There's. I was being a, what, like, but I thought I was just being weak. Why am I calling myself these names? Doesn't matter. I thought I was being weak. Like, oh, it's raining, but we're biking over. Yes, you can take the train, but whatever. I'm not playing, musical chairs in the rain. I am not that badass, I guess. So, okay. So I wrote her asking, how did it go? Then, I realized, okay, it was canceled. So I wrote her back and go, it was canceled, but I still would love your thoughts. And I told her I would share the thoughts. So I'm not doing anything weird. And this is what she wrote. This is a comedian, writer. You might know her from NPR. She's such a good storyteller. Oh, she wins storytelling competitions. I read her book. It's fantastic. It's called Screw Everyone, Sleeping My Way to Monogamy. It was such a fun, easy read. I read it so quickly. Highly recommend. Anyway, here's what she wrote about hosting this musical chairs. So she wrote, and I told her I'd be sharing this on the vlog, so I'm not doing anything weird. She wrote, I absolutely love this event. I've hosted it for I think almost 10 years, and it's basically watching grown adults turn into kids and get wildly competitive. Sometimes in the last few years, it's even been a bit heated, but generally it is good. It is super good natured, and people have a blast and basically dance in circles in the middle of New York summer for 90 minutes. But this year it was canceled, first because the Knicks watch party, and then because of rain. As far as what it is like to host, my voice reverberates throughout the whole park, which took some getting used to, but it's more like hosting the dance portion of a wedding than comedy. I try to throw a few real easy jokes, and a few people will laugh, but I'm raised up on a big stage with a DJ in the middle of the park, so it's more about keep the party going. I'm pretty sad that it didn't happen this year. XO Ophira Eisenberg. Oh my God. What a sweetie pie. If you have an opportunity to see her live in wherever you are, take that opportunity. You will be entertained. You will be, okay. When I was first looking for free things, like I said, I thought I would just kind of get, crumbs of things, like, oh, we just put out this new hot dog and it's like, here's a bite of it. And it would just give me new places to go to and to experience. But that just sounds like so much fun. All right. Instead of doing that, which would have been 20 miles, round trip on a bicycle, we walked around and hit 9,000 steps that day, which is not bad when it's raining. So the next thing that failed was free ice cream. Now, I get it, free ice cream. They always say, like, while supplies last, like, good job, blocking the hate that comes from when inevitably you run out. And I understand that. This one was sponsored by the US Open. It was by the tennis courts in Astoria Park. Like, how cute. So the US Open happens in Queens, and Astoria Park is in Queens as well, but it's further west than that. So it was very cute that they did it by the tennis courts in Astoria Park. And they did it in other boroughs as well. Since we live in Queens, we took the ride to Astoria Park. It's about 4 miles from us. This event is 3 to 6. We got there at 4, and they were like, this guy was like, no more people in line. We ran out of ice cream. Excuse me. Now, I know it's free, and it's like, why are you getting upset? It's not that I'm upset that I didn't have ice cream. I am a grown adult. I understand that. It's that an hour in you ran out. And from what I saw, and I don't think I took the best pictures, but I was looking for other people with pictures of the Astoria specific one. It was really, really hard to find. And so, but most of what I saw on that line that day, and the couple of experiences that I found online, it looked like it was soft serve. So if you have soft serve and you are a food truck and you know that you can only do this many soft serves in an hour or two, can't you time that out where you don't run out literally an hour into the event? That's rude. Is it rude, or am I being ungrateful? I'm not saying like, oh, where's my ice cream? Let me talk to your manager. I'm saying like, I've done free balloons in the park. And granted, I don't tell people I'm going to be there from 3 to 6 because I actually can't guarantee it. I'm there. If we run into each other, you get a free balloon. Fantastic. But I wouldn't say I'm there and I've done balloon parties where I'm charging people and I am going the entire 3 hours if I'm booked to 3 hours. No bathroom break, no nothing. I'm just balloon after balloon. I know that I can reach at that level 100 balloons an hour. I bring at least 5 packs, which is over 500 balloons. Because I know some of them will pop. Maybe I go faster that day. Maybe more is required. Sometimes the heat affects the balloons. Like, I even bring multiple pumps just in case one of them breaks. You are the US Open and you can't figure out that you're not going to run out after an hour of whatever it is that you promised. Oh my God, I know what I sound like, but do you get what I mean? Okay, anyway, that was 4 miles. So we still got a beautiful bike ride, and Astoria Park is just beautiful. There's a large part of it is on the water, and they closed up those streets for cars, so cars can't even go there. So a lot of times people are there at nightfall, just like kind of like experiencing being in a park and walking, and just beautiful. So here, these are fails, but I still think they are so worthwhile, worth the time. So yes, US Open, you got me to fall for your trick. Yes, I'm calling it a trick. You got me to fall for it, but I got to, make sure that I go out, make sure that I go out while the sun is still out, while it's still summer. Because I could just attach myself to this seat and then just keep going all day. So good on you. Then next, this is a very, very weird experience that I found, and I was like, I'm very curious about it. And it is free pizza at Arlene's Grocery and a quote bodega experience. There's so much in that sentence. First of all, Arlene's Grocery is not a grocery store. It used to be a grocery store. It used to be a bodega, which is a mostly Dominican-owned grocery store, right? How it started, that's originally the bodega. So, but it's not a grocery store anymore. Arlene's Grocery changed into a music venue, mostly rock. It has a bar. It's like a little grungy. It's on the Lower East Side, but they kept the outside. It's still called Arlene's Grocery. It still looks like a grocery store from the outside. So they don't usually serve pizza. So the pizza was coming from Prince Street Pizza. So, okay, it's free pizza. And the bodega experience was a little confusing to offer to New Yorkers because New Yorkers' bodega experience is, hey, I need like a small amount of grocery-like things, like maybe I want a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich if my bodega has griddles. Maybe maybe I'm out of rice or an onion or something. It's a little expensive to do all of your grocery shopping in there, but it's nice to have, and a lot of them are open late. So, what is the experience that you're going to give? Like, it's weird to do a bodega experience in New York. Why not bring that to like Idaho or something? So I was very curious. What it said on the thing was complimentary on the promo. Uh, the experience is for a show called Adults, which I wasn't familiar with, but look at me, it worked. Now I know about it. Complimentary Prince Street pizza slices featuring character-inspired toppings. What is that? Like, we are, look, I already talked about, wanting to play musical chairs. Now there's character-inspired toppings. I really believe that most of PR is thinking of adults like children and bringing them childlike experiences, but calling them experiences instead of, play dates, and calling it brunch instead of like, sitting down to eat with friends. I don't even know if I'm giving good examples, but it's just funny. Character-inspired topics, great. A speakeasy with bodega-themed non-alcoholic beverages. Bodega-themed non-alcohol. Okay. DJs, so multiple, spinning uniquely New York tunes. I don't know why. I don't know why it sounds funny when I'm reading it. It's like, I don't know. It's sort of like manufacturing an authentic experience, but I'm not sure what this is authentic to, I guess. All right. Branded giveaways and interactive moments for adults, the show, fans. Okay. But when we got there, the line was so long. Like so long. And it wasn't one of those lines where, yes, you got to get to the end of the line by, maybe going around the corner once, maybe even twice, but it's moving. Like as you're walking towards the end of the line, those lines tend to move. So you're like, okay, the line is just for order more than like for waiting. This line was for waiting. And we just kind of looked at each other like, we are adults and maybe this experience isn't for us. I do think if the line is very, very, very long, I'm not waiting for it, because I don't know what experience you have under there. I'm probably good. It probably would have been fun, because fun is fun and things are fun and we're fun and I like having fun. I think you could bring the fun to whatever experience, but okay, we didn't have that version of fun that day because we decided to opt out. Instead, we decided to give ourselves the experience that we missed out on by shelling out a couple of bucks. So here are the cheap ways to get that. So we didn't get it for free, but in New York, there are $1.50 slices everywhere, mostly in Manhattan, to be fair, but there are in the outer boroughs a little bit as well. But they used to be dollar pizzas, but a lot of things used to be $1. That's not anymore. We can't dwell on that. But the $1.50 pizzas, still pizza. You still get the pizza experience. It still qualifies. It's not our favorite pizza, but it's pizza that 2 slices and a drink would add up to 1 slice in a better pizzeria. So you're eating. You know what I'm saying? So, and then you can now get, I think they just recently opened those mix-use, right? That's a recent thing? That Oh, sorry. They recently opened the Mix-U things, I think, right? Those are new? Yeah, they're new. Okay, and they're very, very new to me. Mixue. It's this ice cream, and they have, I think they have boba or something also. I always ignore that because I'm not into it. That's right, I'm not into boba. Oh my God, who am I? But they have these $1.19 cones. A cone of ice cream, $1.19. Now, they have a little bit of a coconutty flavor, so if you're allergic or you don't like that, I think that's to make up for like how much cream would cost if the whole thing was cream, but it is creamy. It doesn't taste like coconut. It tastes a smidge like coconut, but it's mostly like the very vanilla, soft serve taste that we're used to. on a cone. You can get it in a cup as a sundae. Like it's like maybe 50 cents more or $1 more. I don't know. But the cone, $1.19. So for less than $10, you're eating, you're drinking a soda, you're having an ice cream, you're in New York City. That's for two people. That's pretty good. So I'm still counting it. Also, the Arlene's grocery, I think, was 7.5 miles away. So it's 14 miles round trip. Oh, to Arlene's here. Yeah, it was 8 miles. 8 miles. Now, here's the thing. We were going to go to Arlene's grocery that afternoon, then experience that. By the time we were done, maybe we walk a little bit and then we head over to Brooklyn to, this is very funny, to Pete's Candy Store, which is just like Arlene's grocery, is not what it's named. Arlene's grocery is a band, a venue, and so is Pete's Candy Store. So we were going to see our friends perform. They are such a sweet, beautiful band. They're a couple. They got married a couple of years ago. We were there. Such a beautiful wedding. And their band is called New Year's Resolution. But here's the problem. I had forgotten to plug my bike in the night before. Now, going from Manhattan and going into Brooklyn for Pete's Candy Store would put me in a really bad position. Now, I understand, like, just ride a bike like regular when your battery runs out, but those bikes are so heavy. I can ride a regular bike, but riding a heavy bike when the battery is out is a next level situation. In fact, on the way home, I kept turning off the battery, like on downhills or when I was like only going uphill a little bit. I only used it when I was like, okay, this is going to be a hill that would take me way too long. So I had to adjust for that. But because Arlene's grocery was kind of a bust, by the time we ate the pizza and the ice cream and walked around and we were waiting for the evening to go to the next event because going home is not possible. I was tuckered out. My bike battery was out. My internal battery was out. And I feel really bad, but I missed, we just had to go home. We couldn't catch the show. And they don't have many shows, and we've been to a few of them. And, I'm a person who's like, oh my God, I said I was going. And, and I know other people are going to be there. They have fans, they have friends that show up. And I hate canceling. And that's twice in the last week or two. And I need to get to know my battery on the level of things that I'm putting into my own schedule. I need to recognize that I can't do maybe the 2-3 things that are on there. I have to pick. So that's tough. I think that's also what I'm learning, like this was 15,000 steps that day. And that's on top of the 16 miles round trip on a bicycle and with a dead battery. So, just kind of like getting to know that I need to weigh that before I commit to so many things in one day. But again, the fails, not all the way at zero. We got a couple wins in there, got a little bit of fun in there, a little bit of frugal New York as opposed to free New York, which still counts. Did the exercises, are mostly hitting the 10,000 steps. That's completely arbitrary and made up, but I'm going by that just for funsies. So I don't know. Do you like to go out every day? Like, I like to go out every day, but I can sort of forget it and have the day escape from me. Do you make sure that you go out every day? Sometimes people get, I think, a dog just to be like, this dog makes me go out every day. And I think that's a great reason to get a pet. So tell me what you do and what you think of my energy level, because I'm like, sometimes I go, don't I have more energy than this? I don't. So Anyway, with the little bit of energy that you have, or with some of the energy, or with whatever energy it takes, if you can press a button that's in front of you, like subscribe or like or, comment, that would be really, really great. Thank you so much. Good day.